you when it comes to the housing situation. And what they're saying, I'm hearing your guides saying here, you're making really good money right now. So investing in property, investing in an area where you feel safe, where you feel good, where you feel welcomed is going to be important, okay? And so that means, you know, if you have to pay an extra amount of money in order to get your own private personal haven, that's fine too. That's money well spent. And you definitely can accumulate more wealth, but having that refuge, that place that you can call home to go back to and to do your work and to decompress and to invite people over, that's really, really important for you. You need that independence. And so having that as kind of like the stabilizing thing in your life right now is going to be very monumental and instrumental to allowing everything else to stabilize in your life. So I do see many of you shifting into a new home situation, and it's going to be very good. What I'm feeling is, I feel like some of you were kind of in a space where your freedom of movement was heavily restricted, okay? So it could be, you know, somebody telling you, for whatever reason, I'm seeing low visibility, so I don't know if the lights are always off, if it's really dark and you're always like fumbling around in the dark, if you had, you know, noise restrictions as well, someone is telling you like, oh, don't make so much noise, don't turn on the lights, or don't leave the lights, you know, on when you leave. And I feel like, you know, you're a very unpredictable sign. Your life is also very fast paced and it's very unpredictable. So you don't have a fixed schedule. You don't have, you know, a routine where you come and go at a certain time, and you don't like to even come and go at a certain time. So you're going to do what you want to do whenever you want to do them. And so having somebody else place those types of restrictions on you can feel very, very annoying. And so investing in a place, your own refuge, your own haven, it is money well spent. Don't worry about, you know, like justifying to yourself, I'm paying so much money. Is it worth it? Yes, it is worth it. If we can have that peace of mind, I definitely feel it's worth it, right? And so that's what I'm sensing here. A new environment. If you're sick of where you've been staying, there is going to be a new housing situation. And I would urge you, if you are moving to a new place, right? And you're thinking like, maybe I should live here where I can have a roommate, or I can live in a place that is more robust and vibrant because I can make new friends. I feel like you're going to make friends wherever you go. That's the typical Aquarian nature. So don't feel like you have to live in a specific area because, you know, you don't want to be alone. Don't feel that way. Friendships are separate from a living situation. So aim to be in a living situation where you have a little bit more peace and quiet. I feel it's going to serve you a lot better than injecting yourself in the middle of a very robust, vibrant, busy environment where you're going to be inundated by a lot of noise, a lot of distractions, a lot of light pollution. And you don't even have that, you know, it's like every time you slip out the door, you have to greet somebody, you have to stop and say hello, and you have to, you know, do the social niceties. And then you also feel like your every action is monitored. Like it's not going to serve you well, okay? So aim for solitude, aim for peace and quiet, aim for your own personal space. That's going to be crucial. I feel many of you are going online looking at apartment listings, looking at homes, looking at places that you can, you know, move into, and that's great. And I'm also sensing, you know, money is coming in abundantly, so you're going to be investing quite a bit when it comes to decorating your new space. And I'm also sensing furnishing the area, buying essentials, buying things that you need, okay? So it looks very good in that regards. I feel like it's going to be the force that stabilizes other areas in your life. So having a home that you can call home, it's going to be transforming all the other sectors in your life. When it comes to work, what I'm sensing is there is going to be, it's like a juggling act. And I also feel like wherever you're currently working, you're not making the same amount of money that you thought you would be making, you're not feeling as safe and secure as you did, back in the days when you first started the job. So I feel like you're looking elsewhere. You're kind of casting a wider net. You're scanning the horizon for new opportunities. And some of you are even like exasperated or frustrated with the current work situation. And you're just like, I'm putting in a lot of work and I'm not getting the reciprocal amount of financial resources. And so there's this balancing act about, is it still worth it? Is it still feasible? Should I still stay here? Should I go somewhere else? For those of you who are self-employed, who are working on a commission basis, there is going to be a little bit of a lull this month when it comes to clients. And I feel like it's a natural, economic cycle. It's not something that you need to worry. So people might be a little bit more mindful about spending money. So there might be a little bit of a spending freeze from clients. And so you're not, you're not going to be super busy when it comes to work, okay? And so don't worry, it's going to pass. And I feel like moving into, the next month, the spending is going to be moving again. It's going to be moving along again. So the freeze is happening only for this month in November. And I feel like all the other months that it's going to, it's going to free up. It's going to start flowing again. I'm sensing as well, there is somebody in your work sector, a very, very trustworthy friend, confident, that you actually really, hold in high regards. And I feel that because they're there, you feel safe there. Okay, so I almost want to say pegging your sense of safety onto somebody else. But I feel like you admire this person, you look up to this person, and you feel safe there. You feel like you and them have a common purpose. But I do sense this is the month where you're going to have to really reassess, what is really my safety net? It shouldn't come from other people. It should come internally. And the safety net, like I said, the foundation, the safety net is going to come from having that own space that you can call your own, where you can decompress, where you can feel safe. And then once you have that, all the other areas of your life will start to stabilize and will bring that sense of safety and security for you. Okay, so let's talk about this spread. The two cards that came out at the very beginning of the spread looks really, really good. But I'm trying to pick up as well other areas that might be a little bit more tenuous that you have to contend with. And I feel it's relationship oriented. So let me just talk first of all about this. And then, find a segue into the next the next area of your life. This is a new job. Scorpio got a card that is very similar, but, it showed up in the upright position. So the Ace of Pentacles is some type of a God-given opportunity to make money. This is a very, very lucrative work assignment. And it's also something that can be greatly income generating. It can be very, very prosperous. You're looking at this and you're just like, I feel like some of you might need to make a move for this and you're not sure if the move is worth it. And then some of you are kind of like toying with the idea of, self-employment, thinking like, do I really want to take this job? This seems to me like a regular 9-to-5 job. Okay. It doesn't feel to me like it's an entrepreneurial endeavor. It feels to me like you're working under somebody else. And so you're kind of deciding, I'm safe where I am right now. There's a lot of money. I get along with everybody there. Everyone there is ambitious. They're on the same page. They want to collaborate and work with one another. So there is stability and harmony in the current work environment, where you might be working with like coworkers that are all different nationalities, all different age groups. So you might have somebody that is, on the verge of retiring, and you're just like eyeing the position thinking, well, if they leave, new positions will open up. You're working with people that could also be a lot younger than you, and you're kind of, revered, and you're held in high regards because they look at you and they believe that you know what you're doing and you can help them. So I feel like it's a very dynamic environment across like, it feels like there are a lot of different age groups. It's like a broad spectrum in age, a broad spectrum in ethnicities. It's also a very, very busy, fun, dynamic environment where the days go by really fast. And you like that. You like a place that is, if it's something too stable, it tends to be boring. So you gravitate towards environment that is a little bit more fun, dynamic, fast paced, because you don't want to be stuck feeling bored. So in this current environment, you feel like, oh, there's a lot to do. I'm still learning. So I'm not sure if I'm ready to shift gears just yet. But this is behind the, either you're born in, the late decan of Aquarius, you're dealing with this now where you have new opportunities, and the opportunity has a lot of growth and a lot more prosperity. And so you're trying to kind of like make a quick getaway. Like, how do I do this gracefully? How do I not disappoint all the people that I've been working with? How do I just cut ties and, bounce, get out of there gracefully without having to talk to my manager, my supervisor? How do I just get out gracefully, make a graceful exit? So some of you are toying with this idea. And I feel some of you are just, you're not really sure if this is the right decision. And so it seems like there's a lot at stake. It seems as if, there's a lot of fears here. The strength card is more about, emotional and physical resilience, okay? It's about speaking your truth. It's about not cowering in the face of danger or in the face of fear. So I feel that the best policy is honesty, and the best policy is to be very forthcoming and righteous when it comes to our intentions. So I do feel many of you are going to be shifting gears, and it looks really good. And I feel that, this phase where you've been going on the job interviews, trying to impress people and feeling very empty-handed, feeling almost as if you're settling or you're selling yourself short, feeling like you had to take a job because of security reasons, rather than a job that really inspires you, that really motivates you to get out of bed every morning. I feel like that phase is over, because you have something really phenomenally amazing coming into the picture. I'm also sensing as well, let me talk about the relationship sector. So I have here a fire sign. So this is a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo, sun, moon, or rising. And this energy is kind of like somebody delivering bad news, okay? It's a messenger energy. And what I'm feeling is, I feel, first of all, you're dealing with somebody that might require a lot more attention and a lot more of your time, okay? So they can come out as this energy of a fire sign, where they want more from you. They want to know that you care about them. They need a lot more attention. They need a lot more of your time, and they're wondering where you've been. You've been busy working. You've been busy building your empire, building wealth, and you have a lot of things here that you're taking care of. And I feel like some of you are just kind of physically tired. This is a house move. Some of you have been doing this where you're jumping from place to place. You're trying to gather everything from one place to the next. And so you're neglecting your relationships. And I feel like you just don't have the time. And so this person is coming into the picture, kind of nudging you like, hey, look at me. Where have you been? Are you with somebody else, or are you, just caught up with life? And where do I fit in your life? And that's a really good question, because I feel like some of you are also wondering, is this relationship viable? Are they still a permanent fixture in my life? Am I outgrowing the relationship? I feel honestly some of you are outgrowing the relationship. And you might not have the heart to break it to them, because, they're pure and innocent and just a very fun person to be around. They're lighthearted, and I feel like they're generally very honest, but you're just not really sure of the long-term viability of the relationship, because you have a lot of expanding that's happening in your life, a lot of I want to say grabbing new opportunities that's coming in, and you keep yourself very nimble on your feet. And when opportunities come in, you always go with the new. The new, for some reason, for Aquarius, that novelty concept. It's always like, it's almost like the grass is always greener. You have that tendency to do that. As long as it's not old, as long as it's new, I can handle the new. And I don't care what's going to happen. New is new. New is better. New is not always better, but I feel like in your mind you automatically make up this belief that new is always going to be better. At least it's going to be exciting. It's going to require some adjustment. So initially, yes, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be new. But then that novelty concept always wears off, and so it's really important for you to really look at clearly. Is this still viable? Am I outgrowing this person, like just spiritually? Or is it no longer proving to be new and exciting anymore, and that's why you want to leave it behind? But I feel like there's going to be a little bit of, I want to say like attention seeking from your partner, and I feel that they want to feel close to you again. They feel neglected, and they feel like you're not really in the picture, okay? What I'm also sensing as well is some of you are in a relationship where the fun in the romance, for whatever reason, there's always a third party tagging along. It could be children, or it could be, family. So there's like always a third wheel, or there are always other parties interfering. I'm not sensing exes. I'm not. It's not like, your ex or their ex is like poking their heads in the picture. I just feel like there's an element of, having a lot of people always around. And so you can't really have a normal one-on-one type of a relationship. If that sounds like you, Aquarius, you need to somehow create the space so that your relationship can thrive, because it's really affecting your relationship. And I feel you or your partner is no longer feeling like this is viable. It's almost like, how you have some people, I see this a lot in TV shows, but I don't really see it in real life, but it does happen, I'm sure, where you have a friend that's always tagging along. You have a brother that's always tagging along, or you might be in a relationship with someone with children and they have children tagging along. And so when you're trying to have a relationship, especially at the very beginning of a relationship, you want to carve out that alone time so that you can get to know your partner. You want to, isolate the relationship partner, not because, of manipulation or jealousy or whatever. It's all about spending the time to properly get to know somebody. And I feel like with a lot of Aquarius, the lines between who you're dating and who you're friends with, it kind of blurs, right? And so you feel like it's okay to bring my boyfriend to bring my friends along when I'm going on a date with my boyfriend or girlfriend. And so try to really reassess this, because I feel like your partner, or if your partner is doing this, you might not like it. And so it's really important to have these discussions. I just feel like a third wheel, somebody is coming along, dragging along, being dragged along, or some interference in your relationships here. And it's coming in at an inopportune time. And this is the month, it might have been happening, but this is the month where it proves to be very burdensome, and it's not something you can sweep under the rug or you can ignore anymore, okay? So moving forward, what I do sense overall is we have a lot of work energy. And this general reading is going to be heavily focused on work and finances and your career. But we have a situation here where I feel, you guys work really hard, and you're scrambling, you're trying to save up. So I feel like, since last month was a big spending month, and money kind of slipped through your fingers. So this is the month where you need to, keep track, itemize, and try to reduce spending, especially frivolous spending. So everything you do now, this month, has a purpose. If you are buying something, it has to serve a function in your life, which is great, which is the way that we should, approach money and resources. Everything that you do has to have a function, and you're trying your best to limit spending. You're trying your best to save up. You're itemizing things. You're setting a budget for yourself, which is actually similar to a Scorpio reading that I did. And so I do see many of you kind of like with spreadsheets, trying to do the bookkeeping, trying to sit down and sort through your finances, trying to, even get a head start when it comes to tax season as well for those in the United States. So You're going to have to, really sit down and think about what are essential items? What can I live without? What do I need to get rid of? So I see you with piles, piles in front of you. One is like a throwaway pile, the other one is a maybe pile, and the other one, third one is like a keep pile. So you're, sorting things out. What do I absolutely need in my new space, in my new life, and what can I do without? So you're getting rid of a lot of sentimental items, things you've accumulated over the years, things that, even you have created with your own two hands. Artwork, pottery, jewelry, things that you physically created or things that were given to you. And I'm also sensing this environment here where if you are moving, you have a lot of stuff that you absolutely need to get rid of. This is like wealth that is, generational. It's accumulated over time. And I do see lavish furnishing, thick, heavy, tapestries, thick, heavy curtains, really expensive rugs or exotic looking rugs. So a lot of things in your house that are just cluttering your space. Cluttering your space, cluttering your mental processes, cluttering your life. You need to get rid of them. And the best policy, I always feel, when it comes to donations, it's always good to donate things that we don't need because there's always somebody out there that can make use of it. But there's no point in donating scraps, right? Things that you absolutely hate or things that are no longer functional, like a torn piece of clothing. Mainly because the whole point of donation is to really think about, okay, I really like this, but I have to part ways with it. So I'm going to give it to somebody else that can make use of it or that can treasure it the way that I do. That is the mentality that you're supposed to take when it comes to donations. It's not about giving away, your trash. It's about giving away things that you still hang on to for whatever emotional reasons. But now you can finally come to a point where you can get rid of it because it's going to serve its function and its purpose in somebody else's life, somebody that needs it. So a lot of trips taken to Goodwill, a lot of trips taken, to donation centers. That's in store for you. Make sure your car is fully, stocked and make sure your car is fully gassed up, okay? I feel like, the whole donation concept, it is going to bring about really good energy. I feel like it's, just the law of attraction. You give and you should also, if you give back, you will also get that blessing back to you tenfold. Okay, so I do feel many of you try to part ways with some things because you're carrying a very, very heavy load. And if you can unburden yourself, it's going to feel so much better and so much lighter. I'm also sensing, if you're going into a house situation and there are a lot of people, it's going to feel like you're not really home and you're going to make a move again. So try to do it right so that you're not carrying that new energy into the next month and during Mercury retrograde cycles. You will misplace items, you will lose things, or the home that you thought you wanted or the job that you thought you wanted, it's going to be below expectations, okay? So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Money looks very, very good, and you're definitely curbing your spending, which is great. I do see new jobs. I do see as well, many of you, I just feel like, needing to stand up for yourself, needing to, face your fears head on and don't shy away from conflict. Don't recoil, okay? And at the same time, gather your thoughts so that you are speaking in a way where it shows you're the person in authority. Okay, so don't let other people dictate the narrative. Take charge of the situation. Speak loudly and firmly. Okay. So Aquarius, best of luck with everything. I wish you all the very best for, the closing of this year, okay? Take care of yourself. If you'd like to book a private reading with me as well, please visit my website. It is in the description box below. I'll be back for your love reading.